Hey, Graham, it's good to see you here. And of course, how are you feeling? And what was your experience with COVID like these last couple of weeks?
Um, I appreciate that. Thanks for welcoming me back. Uh, it was a little weird. So I had a lot of coughing, stuffy nose, stuff like that. I was still able to smell and taste, so nothing like that. But I do have asthma, so like a little bit of the respiratory stuff was getting to me. But I was able to come back on Sunday in our little ramp up period and work out and get my conditioning back to a level that it was basically at before I got COVID. So I'm just hoping to be good.
Next one, Nick Kosmatter.
Yeah, Graham, you mentioned it kind of being a little bit weird. What was just sort of it like kind of watching from afar the last 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, it was particularly weird for the Chargers game because I had been, involved in the game planning with that up until like 5 a.m. on Friday when they called me and told me that I wasn't able to come in for 10 days. So that was particularly weird. And, the offense had struggled early in that game and they were able to kind of come back and, well, not kind of able to come back, but they were able to come back and get the win there. And that was awesome. But, last week was particularly weird because I just was kind of watching from afar the entire way. And, what happened in Atlanta happened, and we're here this week.
We'll go Mike, then Arnie. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Graham, I was wondering, any residual effects? Do you feel, you got all your strength back, breathing okay, conditioning, that type of stuff?
After not playing football for a couple weeks, a little rusty, but other than that, been working through that and getting better this week. And I think that the conditioning aspect, I don't think should really be an issue, and just trying to go out there and play a good game on Sunday.
Next one, Arnie.
Yeah, welcome back. When you got that call on that Friday morning that you were positive, had you any symptoms at that point, or was that a surprise to you? Were you kind of feeling the effects yet or anything?
Well, I felt like I had kind of had a cold before then. I felt like I was a little bit sick for probably like the week before I even got the diagnosis. And it didn't really help that, it was pretty cold when we played the Chiefs that weekend. So I just had thought that I kind of caught a cold and that's what it had felt like. So I was definitely surprised and definitely ruined my night's sleep. I wasn't able to go back to bed, after that particularly good. But it was fine. I mean,
Next one, Kyle Newman. Time for a few more after Kyle.
Graham, we talked to Dalton a couple days ago, and he said, despite all the shuffling up front, injuries, COVID, et cetera, there's no excuses. What are you looking to do to kind of bring some stabilization and get you guys on a more consistent track here in the second half? And what needs to be done, just kind of across the board with the unit?
I think that what a lot of it kind of comes down to is I think that there will be some mistakes on Sundays, and that's just kind of how it works. But I think that I like to be like a little bit more of a stabilizing force and make sure guys aren't getting too high or too low, and making sure that they're not letting the mistakes that they just made roll over to the next play or the next series or the next quarter. And I think that we can do a better job of not getting perhaps like emotionally hijacked and just go out there and play the game and do our jobs to the best of our abilities.
Next one, Eric.
Yeah, Graham, couple for you. First, at right tackle, what will it be like for you with kind of the uncertainty there about who's going to start? And then secondly, what have you seen in the running game that hasn't quite worked the last few weeks, and how do you think you turn that around?
Well, I feel like it's kind of seemed like just with how the flow of games go, the first halves haven't been going particularly well for our offense and particularly for our team. So when you get down a lot of points, usually at the beginning, it just kind of becomes more of a throwing game to kind of, finish up and try to catch back up. So I feel like that's one way to try and get the running game going, is making sure that the game is tight like in the first half, and making sure that we could be playing with the lead. If you're playing with the lead, you're going to be running the ball. And I think that we have a lot of talented dudes up front to make the run game work when we really give it like that shot. Like you could talk about, like the Chiefs game was good, the Pats game was good, and the Chiefs game was good for running. But I mean, I think that we have what it takes to be a good running team. I think we just need to be in the right, I guess, like flow of the game for it to be a staple of the offense instead of just trying to catch up.
Final two, Brandon and Zach.
Graham, you've been remarkably healthy going back to your last 3 years at Michigan and then didn't miss too much time in your time in Detroit. How strange is it to miss a game when you feel okay physically? You don't have a knee, an ankle, a hip, a shoulder. How weird was that?
I mean, that was probably the weirdest part of it all. I mean, I was feeling good body-wise. I mean, you know, I just felt like I had like just a bad cold, and I just wasn't able to go out and do my job. And it was a little bit sad, but I understand the reality of the situation. And I mean, I guess I'm fortunate that it wasn't anything physical. I think that I'd rather have it be like physical in the regards of an ankle, knee, back. I mean, I'm fortunate in that regard, and I'm just happy that I'm able to be here now and try to get some wins here in the second half of the season.
Final one, Zach.
Hey, Graham, what have you seen from Calvin Anderson this week and this year if he does have to play right tackle? What gives you confidence in him this week?
He's young. He's extremely athletic. I think that he's a very good understanding of what his strengths are, and I think that he kind of tailors his game to that. And I think that if Calvin does end up being the starter this weekend, that he'll be ready to go. And he's a smart guy. He understands the plays. He understands what he's seeing. He's just going to be, I think that it just kind of comes down to, like, if you were to knock him on anything, it's just that he's young. He's somewhat inexperienced, but I think that, as I said, he's smart and he'll figure it out.